Have you ever prayed with all your heart and heard nothing in return? Have you ever cried out for a sign, a word, a breakthrough only to be met with silence? Have you ever wondered, God, where are you? Why aren't you answering me? Have you forgotten about me? If you've ever felt like this, know this truth: you are not alone. The greatest heroes of faith, Abraham, Joseph, Moses, David, Job, and even Jesus, went through seasons where it seemed like God was silent. But was he really silent? Or is he working in ways they couldn't yet see? Could God's silence be part of his plan? We live in a world where we want everything fast. We want answers now. We want to see progress. We want to feel in control. But God doesn't operate on our timeline. Think about this. Has God ever been late? Or is it possible that his timing is simply different from ours? When Lazarus was sick, his sisters, Mary and Martha, sent a message to Jesus. They were desperate. They knew he could heal the brother. But Jesus didn't go immediately. He waited. And while he waited, Lazarus died. Can you imagine their heartbreak? Can you hear their cries? Jesus, if you had been here, our brother wouldn't have died. Have you ever felt like that? Like if God had answered sooner, you wouldn't be in the situation you're in now. Like if he had stepped in earlier, you wouldn't be struggling like this. But here's the truth: Jesus wasn't late. He was waiting for the right moment. And when he arrived, he didn't just heal Lazarus. He resurrected him. What if God is delaying your answers because he's planning something greater than you even imagined? When God's silence feels like a test, think about Job. A man who loved God, feared him, and followed him faithfully. Yet, in one day, Job lost everything. His wealth, his children, his health, his sense of security. And through all his pain, God was silent. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're doing everything right, but life keeps getting harder. Like no matter how much you pray, nothing changes. What do you do when you're in the middle of a storm and God seems silent? Do you give up? Do you walk away? Or do you, like Job, choose to trust even when you don't understand? Job's friends told him he must have sinned. His wife told him to curse God and die. But Job refused. And in the end, after the testing was complete, God restored everything he had lost twice as much. What if God's silence in your life is not rejection, but a test of faith? What if the very thing that's breaking you today is the thing that will bless you tomorrow? Is God speaking, but you're not listening? What if God is not actually silent? What if you're just too distracted to hear him? How much time do you spend waiting on God? Are you always rushing, filling your life with noise? Social media, entertainment, endless words. What if God has been speaking, but you haven't made time to listen? Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Maybe God is waiting for you to be still, to turn off the distractions, to stop running to people for answers and start running to him, to stop demanding an explanation and start trusting in his plan. The truth about God's silence: here's what you need to remember. God's silence is not his absence. Even when you can't hear him, it is there. God's timing is perfect. He may not answer when you want, but he will always answer on time. God's delays have a purpose. It is working in ways you cannot see. God is preparing you. Sometimes, the silence is his way of growing your faith. God will never leave you, even when it feels like he's far away. It is closer than you think. Hold on to his promises, because he has not forgotten you. Meditation, finding peace in God's silence. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Imagine yourself in a dark room. You feel lost. You feel alone. But suddenly, you hear a voice whisper, "I'm with you." You look up, and in the distance, you see a small light. You walk toward it. And as you do, the darkness fades. You realize you're never alone. God was there the whole time. Let his presence fill you. Let his peace quiet every anxious thought. Even when you don't understand, trust that he is working. Challenge: trust God even when you don't understand. Today, I challenge you to choose faith over fear. Maybe that means praying even when you don't feel like it. Maybe it means worshiping even when you don't hear an answer. Maybe it means letting go of doubt and choosing to trust Him. Because your story's not over. And God is not done with you. Call to action, declare your faith. If this message spoke to you, comment God is still working below. Hit the like button if you believe God's timing is perfect. And share this message because someone else needs this reminder too. God's silence is not the end of your story. It's just the beginning of something greater. Amen.